Arborist Podcast, Domain 2, Episode 4, Soil Compaction, Causes, Effects, and Why Trees Struggle in Urban Soils. Welcome back to the Arborist Podcast. This podcast is designed to help you study for the ISA Arborist Certification Exam by breaking down complex arboriculture topics into clear, practical explanations. As always, this podcast is not affiliated with or endorsed by the International Society of Arboriculture. It's an independent educational resource created to support arborists preparing for the certification exam. In the last episode, we talked about soil water, drainage, and aeration. Today, we're focusing on soil compaction and why it is one of the most common and damaging soil problems affecting trees, especially in urban environments. What is soil compaction? Soil compaction occurs when soil particles are pressed closer together. As particles move closer, pore space is reduced. This limits the movement of air, water, and roots through the soil. Compaction does not change soil texture, but it severely damages soil structure and pore space. For arborists, this distinction is important. Texture is permanent. Compaction is often caused by human activity. Common causes of soil compaction. Soil compaction is most commonly caused by pressure applied to the soil surface. This includes foot traffic, vehicles, construction equipment, and repeated use of heavy machinery. Urban trees are especially vulnerable because soil is often compacted before trees are even planted. Construction activities around existing trees are a major cause of root damage and long-term decline. How compaction affects soil function. Compaction reduces large pores first. These macropores are responsible for drainage and oxygen movement. As macropores collapse, water infiltration slows and oxygen availability decreases. Soil may stay wet longer, but roots still suffer from oxygen deprivation. This explains why compacted soils can appear moist while trees show drought-like symptoms. Effects of compaction on roots. Roots need space to grow and oxygen to respire. In compacted soil, roots struggle to penetrate dense layers. Growth becomes shallow and restricted. Limited root growth reduces water and nutrient uptake and weakens anchorage. Over time, this leads to reduced vigor, increased stress, and higher failure risk. Above-ground symptoms of compacted soils. Compaction-related stress often shows up in the canopy. Common symptoms include reduced shoot growth, smaller leaves, sparse canopy, early fall color, dieback. These symptoms are nonspecific, which is why soil conditions must always be evaluated during diagnosis. Compaction in urban tree sites. Urban soils are often compacted, layered, and disturbed. Sidewalks, roads, buildings, and utilities limit root space and concentrate traffic pressure. Even well-maintained urban trees often grow in poor soil conditions. Understanding this context helps arborists set realistic expectations and communicate limitations to clients. Preventing soil compaction. Preventing compaction is far easier than fixing it. Protecting root zones during construction, limiting traffic under trees, and establishing tree protection zones are critical practices. Once soil is compacted, recovery is slow and difficult. This is why prevention is emphasized heavily on the ISA exam. Managing compacted soils. When compaction already exists, arborists may recommend practices such as soil aeration, vertical mulching, or organic matter incorporation. These methods aim to increase pore space and improve oxygen and water movement. However, results depend on the severity of compaction and site conditions. Compaction management is often about improvement, not full restoration. This episode ties together multiple soil concepts. Texture influences how soil responds to pressure. Structure and pore space determine how damaging compaction becomes. Water, aeration, and root health are all affected by compaction. Soil compaction is a central cause of many urban tree problems. Let's recap the key points. Soil compaction reduces pore space, limits oxygen and water movement, and restricts root growth. It is commonly caused by human activity and is a major factor in urban tree decline. Preventing compaction is more effective than correcting it after the fact. In the next episode, we'll shift focus to soil organisms and the soil food web and explain how living organisms in the soil support tree health. Thanks for listening to the Arborist Podcast. Let's keep building your arborist knowledge one topic at a time.